Harry and Meghan are doing a 2-day tour in Jordan, a humanitarian trip. Buckingham Palace was aware of this. The public didn't know, hence why everyone woke up this morning and realised that Harry and Meghan had arrived in Jordan.
Surprise, surprise! They've taken off again. Another international adventure from this so-called Team U duo. They've just landed in Jordan and things are moving fast. No time to breathe because this trip is already making noise. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are back on the global scene after 18 long months, their first international outing since that chaotic Colombia visit. Remember that one? It was a total disaster. Nobody even knows how they paid for it. Oh wait, and people are still whispering, do they still owe money for that mess? Now everyone's wondering who's covering this new trip. Who's paying for the luxury hotels, the security, the flights, all of it? The mystery just keeps growing. And get this, Meghan has already changed into 2 different outfits within hours of touching down. 2. That says everything about how this so-called tour is going to unfold. All flash, no substance. Apparently, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have arrived in Jordan to support efforts by the World Health Organization. But come on, the WHO doesn't exactly need celebrity helpers. They're doing perfectly fine without any royal photo ops, thank you very much. The couple is teaming up with Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the Director General of WHO, on a 2-day project about humanitarian health efforts. Because of course, they're humanitarians, right? Always saving the world in designer clothes. Oh, don't you worry. They're going to squeeze every drop of attention out of this one. Their latest act, a grand showcase about mental health and support for vulnerable people impacted by conflict and displacement. Sounds noble, right? But wait till you hear how deep this goes. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex are teaming up with the WHO to highlight Jordan's leadership in humanitarian health. They'll visit programs they've supported financially, though let's be real, it's more like using other people's money. All this to facilitate medical evacuation for children impacted by the conflict in Gaza. The wording sounds heavy, but the headlines are going to be all about them. Next stop, the regional headquarters of World Central Kitchen. You know, Meghan's close friend runs that one, the same group that delivers food and aid to Gaza. So yes, it's another photo-perfect partnership waiting to happen. Then comes the most jaw-dropping part. They're actually heading to a refugee camp that houses displaced Syrians. Seriously? What business do these two have walking into a refugee camp like it's another media stop? The trip is supposed to highlight the importance of mental health services, physical rehabilitation, and community-based support for those affected by war, illness, and displacement. Maybe Meghan should start by patching things up with her own dad. I just saying, and get this, one of their first big moments after landing was attending a WHO roundtable. Take a look at that lineup. You've got global health experts, professors, and top-tier professionals sitting around, and then them. It's almost too easy to spot the odd ones out in that photo. And then there they are, Meghan and Harry, sitting right there like they belong among top global experts. Seriously, who let them into that room? Just look at Meghan's face. That smug little grin says it all. She knows she's out of place, but does she care? Not a bit. You'd think she might feel a little imposter syndrome, right? Nope. She's already told everyone she never feels that. Confidence on another level. Now check this out. Town and Country published a whole article explaining the purpose of their trip. According to them, Harry and Meghan's visit to Jordan is about listening, learning, and amplifying effective humanitarian responses in the region. Listening and learning, huh? That's code for they don't know what they're talking about. They're just there to nod and take notes while everyone else does the real work. Apparently, they decided to make the trip in February because, as they claim, health and food insecurity impacts are intensifying in Gaza. Oh, really? You reckon? Meanwhile, they say they're worried international attention might be fading. Wow, what deep insight. Did they figure that out all by themselves? Maybe they should try politics next since they've got the world-saving speeches down pat. Now they're suddenly experts on mental health, trauma recovery, and the long-term effects of conflict. Please, they're just hopping onto every trending cause that'll keep their names in the headlines. And here's the kicker. Town and Country also reported that the royal family was told about this trip ahead of time. But make no mistake, the Duke and Duchess aren't representing the royals at all. They're doing this one solo. and making sure the cameras catch every second. So apparently they're acting as representatives of the UK government. Seriously. Long hair, don't care. Because trust me, the UK government couldn't care less about what Harry and Meghan are up to halfway across the world. They've got way bigger issues to deal with than this little PR parade in some random country for no real reason at all. Now, it says here that this visit is undertaken in partnership with the WHO. How that happened? No clue. But somehow, they've managed to attach their names to yet another respected organization, along with their usual allies, World Central Kitchen and Questscope. These two just keep finding ways to insert themselves into every global headline. And get this, during their 2-day stop, they'll be joined by Dr. Essam Daoud, the founder of Humanity Crew, a Palestinian psychiatrist and psychotherapist. He actually worked with Harry before on that mental health documentary, The Me You Can't See. So yeah, they're bringing back old connections to make this trip look extra legit. But of course, the itinerary's already leaked. Classic move. For a couple so obsessed with security, it's wild how every single detail of their movements is splashed all over social media by the Sussex squad.
Everyone knew at the palace, and these two knew especially, that Harry and Meghan had a Jordan trip coming up. And what they always do when they know a certain date or time that these two will go out, they will book an engagement in advance. You can do it. And remember, William and Kate's engagement was announced yesterday in the afternoon, so obviously they gave warning, like, oh yes, they are going to go out tomorrow, these two to Wales.
Instagram's practically running live updates at this point. So here's what's on the schedule. Aside from the WHO roundtable and the visit to the Questscope Youth Center, Day 1 is all about humanitarian health response and medical support for children affected by conflict. Basically the usual health, kids, and a whole lot of cameras. So here's how Day 1 went down. They're hitting up those initiatives they financially supported, or at least claim they did. They'll be shaking hands, nodding along, and listening and learning with organizations that handle healthcare and trauma recovery. But come on, can anyone picture Meghan actually listening quietly? You know she's going to be doing most of the talking, turning every conversation into her moment to shine. Now for Day 2, shout out to the Sussex squad for already posting a glam collage of them online. The theme this time, mental health, refugee support, and food insecurity. Basically, Meghan's way of keeping her name linked to the food and culture scene again. Let's just hope she doesn't roll up her sleeves and start cooking for the cause in front of the cameras, because you know that would happen. The second day also features Dr. Essam Daoud and the crew from World Central Kitchen, including Jose himself. They'll be making rounds at the organization's headquarters, visiting a refugee camp, and checking in on all the projects they can squeeze into 48 hours. It's the full humanitarian tour package. And of course, fashion alert. Meghan's already managed to crease her pants, proving she's wasting no time getting involved on the ground. The boots are dusty, the poses are perfect, and the cameras are rolling. But here's the thing, shouldn't she be covering her hair? Other women around her clearly are, yet she's not following suit. What's that about? It's a fair question. This shot at the Questscope Youth Center says it all. Meghan's surrounded by children smiling for the photos. But oddly enough, the kids' faces are shown in full, unlike her own children, who are always kept hidden. Here we go again. More hypocrisy from this duo. And yes, Meghan's already gone full-on cosplay mode. The Daily Mail caught it. She's clearly channeling Princess Diana from 1997, that iconic moment when Diana met Mother Teresa. Meghan's mimicking it down to the pose and the outfit. She's in full humanitarian mode, and it's starting to feel forced, even a little uncomfortable to watch. Honestly, thank goodness Mother Teresa isn't around to see this, because you know Meghan would have tried to score a private meeting for the perfect photo op, and maybe a little inspiration to boost her image. It's all just too calculated. Now, what's interesting is this whole event could have easily been Harry's solo gig. It's got all his usual talking points: mental health, trauma recovery, overseas causes, basically his comfort zone. Remember when he was in Ukraine? Or when he met Dr. Jabari last September during his UK visit? Same pattern. He looked totally lost in those photos, and yes, that prosthetic moment, priceless. But hey, I think that's when the planning for this Jordan trip started. The dots are finally connecting. So in reality, this trip screams Harry's project, while Meghan just tagged along for the food, the outfits, and the press shots. The humanitarian side, not really her lane. She's treating it more like a fashion campaign than a relief mission. And the big question, why Jordan? At first, it didn't add up, but then it hit me. There's something about that location that ties perfectly into their pattern of headline chasing. It's not about the cause, it's about the image, the symbolism, and the media buzz they know they'll get. And here's where things really start to get suspicious. The more you look at this Jordan trip, the clearer it becomes. This wasn't about charity or compassion, it was a strategic move. Right after all those awkward Hollywood setbacks and the silence around their so-called rebrand, suddenly they're halfway across the world, posing with aid workers and doctors like they've been doing this forever. It's all about keeping the spotlight burning bright. You can almost see the planning behind it. Meghan dressed in carefully chosen, modest, chic outfits. Harry looking serious for the cameras. Every handshake caught on film. It's like they're producing a documentary in real time. You just know a Netflix special is coming next, the Sussexes healing the world or something dramatic like that. They never miss a chance to turn a charity moment into a headline. And let's not ignore the timing. Reports say Jordan recently strengthened its diplomatic ties with the UK. Coincidence? Or maybe this trip was their way of slipping back into royal relevance without officially being royal. They can't be on the balcony at Buckingham, but they can definitely pose on foreign soil and pretend it's the same thing. People are already whispering that this mission was set up to clean up their image after months of bad press. They've been called everything from opportunists to attention chasers, and now here they are standing in front of refugee tents like global heroes. The contrast is wild. So yes, the Jordan visit might look polished and purposeful on the surface, but underneath it's pure PR, carefully crafted and camera ready. Every move, every word, every outfit screams strategy. They didn't come for the cause, they came for the coverage. Now here's where it all starts coming full circle, and it's almost too predictable. Just days after their big humanitarian photo ops in Jordan, the press coverage magically exploded. Front pages, glossy shots, glowing headlines, all carefully timed, of course. You can tell their team had every article lined up and ready to drop the second those camera flashes went off. It's not about the mission, it's about the moment. People are already saying this trip was just a warm-up, a test run for something much bigger. Word on the street is they're gearing up for a new global campaign, one that ties together mental health, resilience, and international compassion. Sounds noble, right? But look closer. It's the same playbook they always use. Pick a cause that photographs well, drop a few deep quotes, and make sure every frame screams modern royalty. And of course, Meghan made sure to make fashion headlines too. Every outfit was perfectly tailored, every accessory chosen to look effortless yet expensive. She's got that camera awareness down to an art form. Meanwhile, Harry's trying to keep up, nodding seriously in meetings, pretending to take notes, doing his best to look like he's leading the charge. Bless him, but you can see who's really directing the scene. The critics are catching on though. Some say the whole trip felt staged, a glossy production disguised as goodwill. Even insiders whispered that the couple's private moments with aid workers didn't seem all that private since a photographer just happened to be there for every handshake. So while they're out here preaching about healing and humanity, the rest of the world can't help but wonder, is it genuine compassion or just another chapter in the Sussex PR saga? Either way, the cameras sure loved it. So get this. Back in October 2025, Prince William and Princess Catherine hosted Prince Hussein and Princess Rajwa at Windsor Castle. A royal get-together, right? And just like clockwork, a few months later, who pops up in Jordan? That's right, Harry and Meghan. It's almost too obvious. You can practically see the wheels turning in their heads. Let's go to Jordan too. Let's show them we can do it bigger and better. It feels like a not-so-subtle attempt to one-up the real royals. See, the British and Jordanian royal families have been close for years. In 2023, William and Catherine even attended Prince Hussein and Rajwa's royal wedding. And back in 2021, they took their whole family to Jordan for Christmas. That bond runs deep. It's respectful, historic, and genuine. But then along come Harry and Meghan trying to squeeze into that same spotlight like it's some kind of royal rivalry roadshow. And here's a detail a lot of people forget. Catherine actually lived in Jordan as a child. Her family moved to Amman when she was just 2, and she even went to nursery school there. So her connection is real, not just for show. Which makes Harry and Meghan's sudden trip look even more staged. It's almost like they scanned the headlines and said, oh, Jordan's trending? Let's book the next flight. Now, what really doesn't add up is why the World Health Organization decided to bring these two into the mix. It's baffling. There's gotta be something more behind the scenes. Maybe funding, sponsorship, or just publicity value. Because on paper, it makes no sense at all. And to make it even more suspicious, just 3 days ago, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus himself posted something on X. And that's where things get even more curious. So, just days before Dr. Tedros made that eyebrow-raising post, the buzz around Harry and Meghan's Jordan visit was hitting a peak. Their photos were everywhere.
But as it's Harry and Meghan on a tour, and they're going out tomorrow, no one's saying a word. And it just proves that the media and the press are corrupt. They're bent, because they're literally writing negative stories this morning about Harry and Meghan. And they keep posting pictures of William and Kate at the bottom.
Shaking hands with aid workers, standing near medical tents, and flashing those perfectly practiced smiles. But behind the scenes, insiders were already whispering that the WHO collaboration wasn't exactly what it seemed. Apparently, some officials were left confused about how the Sussexes even got invited to participate in this humanitarian initiative. There were talks that a few senior members of the organization weren't fully on board with the idea but got overruled at the last minute. Now that's interesting, isn't it? Especially when you realize how polished and media-ready the whole setup looked, like something arranged by a PR team, not by humanitarian planners. And then there's the money question, always the big one. Who's paying for all this? The travel, the security, the accommodations, the crew? Rumor has it a private foundation with ties to one of Meghan's media friends helped facilitate the trip. No confirmation, of course, but the timing lines up a little too perfectly. To make things even spicier, sources claim there was some tension between the Sussex team and the WHO staff during their visit. Apparently, Meghan's requests for certain photo angles and press access didn't sit well with the humanitarian workers who just wanted to focus on the mission. You can almost picture the awkward stares. So by the time Dr. Tedros posted that message about not listening to influencers, it suddenly felt less like a coincidence and more like a statement. Maybe a polite way of saying, thanks for showing up, but we've got it from here. And honestly, that might have been the most diplomatic shade we've seen in a while. Now, by this point, the cracks in the whole humanitarian tour were showing loud and clear. Media outlets started digging deeper, and the more they uncovered, the stranger it looked. Apparently, even local organizers in Jordan were caught off guard by how much attention the Sussex visit brought. Not because of their impact, but because of the constant media circus following them around. Cameras everywhere, security scrambling, crowds gathering just to snap photos. It was chaos dressed up as charity. Some reports even claimed that a few local NGOs felt pushed aside so that Meghan and Harry could have their perfect moments. Meetings that were supposed to focus on aid logistics suddenly turned into photo sessions, and real workers on the ground were said to be frustrated. One volunteer reportedly said, "It felt like we were extras in their movie." That says everything, doesn't it? And let's talk about Meghan's wardrobe again. Because of course, fashion headlines were running wild. Every news outlet had her outfits broken down by brand, price, and symbolism. Modern grace, royal elegance, powerful simplicity. The descriptions were endless. Meanwhile, Harry just looked like he was tagging along, trying to look serious, but mostly just blending into the background. You can tell this wasn't his show. It was hers from start to finish. By the end of their second day, social media was split in half, some people calling them inspiring, others calling them tone-deaf. The debate was everywhere. And then, as if on cue, that post from Dr. Tedros dropped, the one basically warning people not to listen to influencers about health advice. The timing couldn't have been sharper. It felt like the perfect finale before the whole story took a turn, and it definitely set the stage for what came next. And this right here says it all. Dr. Tedros posted, "Listen to health experts, not influencers or political figures, when making decisions about your health, including vaccination." He even added, "You wouldn't board a plane flown by someone with no training, like Harry, just because they're popular or hold office. You choose a qualified pilot because the stakes are too high. The same principle applies to your health." That's a massive statement. He's clearly saying, don't take advice from unqualified public figures. And let's be real, who does that sound like? Exactly. Harry and Meghan have built this image as global humanitarians, but at the end of the day, they're not experts in health, politics, or global aid. They're just celebrity influencers with a royal backstory and a camera crew. So if Dr. Tedros himself is warning against listening to influencers, why are Harry and Meghan even part of this WHO tour? It's confusing and kind of embarrassing. They're out here trying to look like leaders while the actual experts are subtly telling everyone, don't listen to them. The irony couldn't be louder. So what's really going on behind the scenes? Are they trying to rebuild their image again? Or is this just another PR stunt disguised as a mission of compassion? Either way, it's shaping up to be a wild few days in Jordan, and you know there's more drama to come. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know, do you think Harry and Meghan are helping or just pretending to care?